Before I get into this, yes, I have to go back to this kind of quality video, which sucks because my technology issues are still very bad, but we have hit a review milestone, and I'm going to be covering 3 games from 2 different sports. So, with that, here's the reviews. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Drew, better known as RockChalk01, and welcome to the 100th KU review video, which, holy cow, I have now done 100 of these suckers, and it's been since 2019, and basically 3 years later, we finally hit the century mark. But that's also because of my laziness and combining games with another game here and there, and basically that's what I'm doing here because of technology issues. But here it is, it's the 100th one. But if it wasn't for you guys liking, commenting, sharing, and pushing these videos out to the masses, this probably wouldn't have gone very far. So I just want to say once again, thank you guys. But we're going to be discussing 3 games in this video, and from 2 different sports, 2 of them being basketball games and 1 of them being football. And we're going to go in chronological order. So yes, we're going to be talking basketball, football, then basketball again, which, yeah. So without further ado, here's the first review. So the first game we're going to be taking a look at is the Battle for Atlantis Championship, as the then third-ranked Kansas Jayhawks took on the then 22nd ranked Tennessee Volunteers, and KU ended up falling for the first time this season by a final score of 64-50. And yeah, I would have recorded this episode on that day, but my voice was absolutely shot, as I ended up going with my brother, my dad, and one of my brother's friends to Kansas City for the watch party between US and England in the 2022 World Cup. So yeah, there was good reason why I wasn't going to do that, and my energy was basically non-existent. So I'm doing it now. This game was a struggle to watch. In fact, I didn't even finish watching it because the deficit at that point was so drastic. So for all these reviews, but I'm going to say for this one and this one only, for those of you who do not know, I give positives and negatives about the game, give a player of the game, and a player who needs to improve. Without further ado, let's do it. So only a few select positives in this matchup, as KU won the steal battle 11-10, and also that coincides with the turnover battle, as KU won that one, as KU forced 24 Tennessee turnovers while scoring 21 points off those turnovers, and the Vols forced 16 Jayhawk turnovers and scored 18. And the only other positive in this game was fast break points, as KU won that battle 8-1. So yeah, those are the positives. To the negatives, everything else at this point. Tennessee shot way better than the Hawks. They did well defensively, as KU couldn't stop them to save a lick. Tennessee ended up shooting 42% from the field, 44% from 3, 80% from the free throw line, while KU shot 32% from the field, 24% from 3, and 65% from the free throw line. Another negative, KU got out rebounded 45-27, and if you just take out Tennessee's 15 offensive rebounds, they still would have lost their rebounding battle 30-27. And yeah, assists was won by Tennessee 13-11. Blocks was also won by the Vols 4-1. Points in the paint was also won by Tennessee 20-18, which is actually probably the closest thing. Second chance points won by the Vols 16-8, and bench points also won by Tennessee 21-16. So yeah, there was a lot of negatives in this one, and unfortunately those negatives outweigh the positives. Player of the game. Now this might be surprising to some people, but my player of the game is Joseph Yesufu, because when other people couldn't step up to score, he did, and he surprised me. In 27 minutes of play, Joe finished with 14 points, 1 steal, and went 6 of 11 from the field and 2 of 6 from beyond the arc. Great for Joe. I mean, the fact that he's been like my player who needs to improve, like scapegoat at this point, along with a few others, he did great. And he deserves it because there was other people who really didn't showcase their talents. And yeah, so Joseph Yesufu is my player of the game. Player who needs to improve. This one is going to be a surprise to some people, but it's DeJuan Harris, as he had his worst game as a Kansas Jayhawk since I think his freshman year. In 18 minutes, yes, 18 minutes, Juan finished with 2 points, 1 rebound, 2 assists, 2 steals, 4 turnovers, and he fouled out, which I think is the first time he's fouled out in his career. Juan ended up going 1 of 2 from the field. Yeah, he struggled, especially with the 4 turnovers. He had one of the best assist to turnover ratios in the country up until this game. And hopefully that just gets fixed. And, well, in a way, doing 3 reviews and the next basketball game, it kind of improved in a way. But for this game specifically, Juan is my player who needs to improve. So, yeah, that's my KU review of Kansas versus Tennessee. The next game we're going to be reviewing is the football game that happened this Saturday, as the 6-5 Kansas Jayhawks headed to Manhattan, Kansas for a primetime matchup between the 12th ranked, I think at the time, Kansas State Wildcats, and ended up getting beat by a final score of 47-27, which honestly I thought the scoreline would be bigger in favor of the Wildcats, but the 20 points, I mean, I count that as a mental win because these last couple times we've been getting killed. So the margin's now shrinking drastically. Let's get into the positives. KU's defense only held K-State in the second half to 17 points, which I'll take that, especially after giving up 30 points in the first half, most of them coming out of the first quarter. But yeah, defense did really well in the second half. KU scoring is another positive, as KU scored 27, which is the first time since I think 2007 that KU has put up at least 20 points against Kansas State in Manhattan. It's not the first time since 2007. I mean, 2008 they scored 52, or they put up 50 plus. So it's the most since then, but the most in Manhattan since 2007. So KU scoring did a lot better. That also includes 307 total yards, which is made up of 180 passing yards, 127 rushing yards, which is an average of roughly 5 yards per play. Another positive, KU had the same amount of first downs as the Wildcats, both teams putting up 20. Third down efficiency and fourth down efficiency were really good for KU. KU went 6 of 12 on third down and 1 for 1 on fourth. K-State and KU had the same amount of plays. Both teams had 63. And the final positive was KU had less penalties than Kansas State, which is a shock. K-State had 6 penalties for 54 yards, while the Hawks had 5 penalties for 25. So, yeah, those are the positives. To the negatives, KU's defense struggled in terms of yards once again, as the Hawks ended up giving up 443 total yards this game, which is combined of 213 passing yards, 230 rushing yards, which averages out to 7 yards per play. Ooh, excuse me. I am struggling. K-State had 1 more third down conversion and the same amount of fourth downs conversions as KU, with the Cats getting 7 of 13 on third down and 1 for 1 on fourth down. And the biggest negative was turnovers, as KU lost that battle 2-1, which includes 2 fumbles and 1 on the special teams side, which really stinks. So just got to get better on the special teams, and the turnover battle would have been even. So yeah, with all of that said, those are the negatives. Player of the game, I am actually going to give it to Devin Neal. Even though his numbers really don't showcase it, the fact that he put in at least 2 scores is why. Devin finished 16 carries, 59 yards, and 2 touchdowns, which kind of set the tone for KU in this game to run the ball a lot. So, yeah. I mean, I also could have gave it to Jalen Daniels. He went 20 of 32 for 168 in terms of the air, and then had 8 carries for 51 yards and scored, which he also took a groin shot when he went into the end zone. Thank God he was okay. But yeah, Devin Neal with the 2 scores really helped secure his player of the game nod. And I think he also had 2 catches for 10 yards as well. So 60 yards in total for Devin Neal. Yeah, player who needs to improve is a doozy. I mean, I'd go with Luke Grimm, even though he was our leading receiver. Well, actually, he wasn't in terms of receptions, but he was in terms of yards. Grimm finished with 3 catches for 48, an average of 16 yards per catch, but he did end up getting shaken up a little bit in the later portion of the game. And yeah, there wasn't really much productivity out of all the receivers. I mean, I also could go to the defensive side, but I think the defense gets a lot of flack anyway in terms of all the negatives that they get. So most of them come from the offensive side. So unfortunately, I gave it to Luke Grimm. So yeah, that is the end of this review, with the score being Kansas State 47 and KU 27. All right, the final review we're going to be taking a look at is between the now 9th ranked Kansas Jayhawks as they return home to Allen Fieldhouse after a little bit of airline trouble as they faced off against the Texas Southern Tigers and won comfortably 87-55. This is actually the first meeting between these two in basically 8 months, as these two met up on the hardwood in the first round of the NCAA tournament last year. And yeah, that was some bad scheduling. I mean, KU did great, getting basically a comeback, better feeling type win, and things returned to form in a way from the early portions of this season. So right away, let's get into the positives. First one, KU shooting numbers. They returned, as the Hawks ended up shooting 55% from the field, 45% from 3, and 61% from the free throw line. Defensively, KU did well in this one as they held the Tigers to 43% from the field, 24% from 3, and for the first time this season, KU actually won the free throw battle as the Tigers shot 56% from the charity stripe. Another positive is that KU won the rebounding battle 35-25 over the Tigers, and would have actually lost the rebound battle if they didn't have the 12 offensive rebounds, where the Hawks had only 23 defensive, and in total Texas Southern had 25. Turnovers, KU won that battle as well, as they forced 18 Texas Southern turnovers and scored 22 points off of them, while the Hawks only had 11 turnovers and Texas Southern scored 14. What else is there that I can think of? Steals, KU won that battle 9-3. Blocks was won by KU 3-1. Points in the paint, both teams had 28. Fast break points, KU won that one 20-11. And bench points was the big difference, as KU won that battle 21-6. So yeah, that was great. Now we go to the negatives. The only negative that I see in this is second chance points, as KU ended up losing that battle 8-5, which, yeah, that can be an easy fix and should be fixed going on in the near future. So yeah, that is my only negative. All right, player of the game in this one. This one's going to be a new guy, and that is going to be MJ Rice. The freshman had a stellar game as he finished with a new career high, 19 points, 3 rebounds in 22 minutes, Rice shot 6 of 9 from the field, 2 of 4 from the 3, and 5 of 6 from the free throw line. Yeah, MJ, after being almost non existent for most of the season, he showed out and stepped up when other guys were not scoring. But man, he played incredible. I mean, if it wasn't for his performance, this probably would have gone to Jalen Wilson in my eyes, which he ended up having 22 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, a steal, and a block in 30 minutes. Went 8 of 16 from the field, 5 of 10 from 3, and 1 of 2 from the free throw line. I mean, also could have gave it to KJ Adams, who had his first double-digit scoring night in his career. 10 points, 2 rebounds, 4 assists, a block. Went 4 of 6 from the field and 2 of 3 from the free throw line. I mean, Joseph Yesufu stepped up again, getting 14. And then you had Grady Dick, who had 15. But MJ Rice really deserves it in my mind. So, yeah, he's my player of the game. Player who needs to improve. Zach Clemens. No points, no rebounds, a turnover in 10 minutes, and went 0 for 1. Yeah, I don't know what to say. I mean, Zach just seems like he's lost in some ways rather than not. And I think it shows that he's that way because, well, he's not getting the minutes anymore. I mean, he had more minutes this time than Ernest, who had actually a better score line than he did because he ended up getting 5 rebounds. But yeah, Zach, nothing on the score line. So that's why he's my player who needs to improve. And yeah, that's the review for KU and Texas Southern, with a score being 87-55. And that is going to do it for the 100th KU review video. Again, I apologize for the lack of quality. I mean, technology wasn't on my side. And yeah, I just wanted to get a video out to you guys because I didn't want to be piled on by a lot of things. So yeah, that's going to do it for the video. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, share, and subscribe. Push that notification bell. Tell your friends about these videos. And I should see you again for the next basketball review as the Hawks return to Allen Fieldhouse to take on Seton Hall for the Big 12 Big East battle. And for football, we will await to see when that happens, as bowl announcements, I believe, are made on December the 4th. And I think I will just do a Big 12 bowl video just to showcase it, and then it will be followed up by the bowl review. So yeah, that's it. So with that said, have a good day. Never ever bring anxiety to the field house, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Peace.